Hello there, everyone. This is Dr. Schroeder with this week's video introduction to week number 5 in our course in Nursing Theory and Professional Roles in Nursing. And it was a fairly quiet week in class this week. Really, your only task this week was to complete your weekly journals, which of course meant that you went and you reviewed each other's um, the nursing theory presentations that you had each completed, and you gave your feedback and did your reflective journal exercise that you turned in that week. I've had a chance to review all of those and given you feedback on those. Overall, well done. And I'm also given you feedback and graded all of your the presentations that you completed. Overall, very nice job on the presentations. Just a little bit of general information that was particular to most of the groups. Remember, when you're doing a presentation is or should be set up just like a paper. So you should always start a presentation with an introduction. Uh, Introduce the topic. And for the purposes of online presentations, especially group online presentations, one really good suggestion is to not worry so much about cramming so much information into your slides. Use your slides as a visual that guide your viewer, and then use your speaker's notes in PowerPoint. Those are the little notes. It says, the little slide notes. They come up at the bottom. Use those to actually write what would be like the script. What would you be talking about if you were doing this presentation in in the real world, or if you were doing this in front of a real group? And then always uh, finish your presentation with a conclusion where you go back and reflect on your introduction. And the introduction, you talk about what is it you're going to be discussing, what is it that the viewer is going to be learning about, and then at the end you go back and just review how that purpose was met. And so I gave each of you a little bit of feedback specifically for your particular presentations. But again, overall very good, and the scope for each of the presentations is also very good. So there's a lot of meat in there. There's a lot to learn about with all these different nursing theories. So my hat's off to everybody for doing a very good job on those presentations and having a nice discussion about the entire concept of the topic of um, nursing theory. And so in week number 5, we're officially at the halfway point. I'm recording this on Monday evening. So as of today, we officially are on the downhill slide. We're kind of a lot of work left to do yet, but we're kind of sort of on the downhill slide of the class. We're going to switch gears a little bit. The last couple weeks we've been talking primarily about nursing theory, and this week we're going to start to talk more about the professional roles. And this discussion this week, the focus is specifically on social obligations, and you'll read in your readings this concept of social justice in nursing. What are our duties? What is our duty to our patients? What is our duty to our communities? What is our duty to the larger whole that we're all a part of? How do we meet those duties? Again, this kind of goes back to that first week discussion question as to, is nursing a true profession or not? If we are a true profession, then we should have an altruistic sense or an altruistic purpose. That means that we're doing more than just going to work 8 hours a day or 12 hours a day or whatever our work schedule is. And then at the end of the day, we just hang our hat and say, okay, I'm not a nurse anymore, I'm whatever I want to be. And then get up the next day and put on our uniform, and then we're a nurse doing, bedside nursing tasks, and then we're not a nurse anymore when we come home. The concept this week is really talking about what is our obligation to society. How do nurses fit into that, and what obligations do we have, and how do we fulfill that obligation? That's primarily what the topic is going to be about this week, and your discussion question focuses primarily on that. So you have 2 assignments this week. If you'll notice in Blackboard, I have edited that you have 2 assignments. Your initial discussion question response is due on Wednesday. And I'll talk about Thanksgiving in a second, but your initial response is due on Wednesday with 2 responses to peers due by Saturday night. I'm not changing those dates because of the Thanksgiving holiday, although I will work with any of you if you have a lot of family stuff going on, or if you're traveling, or any number of things can, of course, happen now that we're getting into the holiday period. So as you have specific needs as to certain days that you're not going to be able to participate, and that, Wednesday through Saturday is just not really a good time for you, and that there's not really the time to fit in your discussion, please just send me an email and I'll work with you individually on that. I'm not going to officially change any of the due dates or the due times or anything like that, but I will work with each of you on an individual basis. I want you to spend time with your families, and I want you to, enjoy your holiday. One of the advantages to being in an online program is that you have complete flexibility. One of the disadvantages is we don't have really any holiday time other than Christmas and New Year's, 2 weeks there. But when it comes to these 3 and 4 day vacations and Thanksgiving and such, we don't really have a downtime with that. So you're responsible for your own time management and figuring out and making it work for your particular week. Your weekly journal, you do have a reflective journal due again this week. Please review the topic in the class, reflecting back on your development as a practitioner. And development not only in this class, but just your development overall, your development in general. That's going to be the primary task this week. That will be due on Sunday. It's not due on Friday. You don't have to worry about cramming it in and getting it done by Friday. I really like to give everybody to the end of the week for that. And since our weeks do go through to Sunday, it seems prudent to give you until Sunday to go ahead and complete that for this week. So please note that that's when the due date's going to be for that one written assignment. And I will be reviewing your papers that were submitted this week. It takes me a while to do those, and I'm also kind of on my own Thanksgiving schedule here. I'm going to start looking at those likely tomorrow. Again, that's Tuesday or possibly Wednesday, and they will be completed by the end of the weekend. And again, it takes a while to do those. I've got 19 of you in class and 19 papers, grading them in Blackboard. It takes a little while to read all those. So bear with me on that, but you will see your grades sometimes between now and the end of this coming weekend. For myself, I'm going to be in Rosarito Beach for my Thanksgiving, and most of this week I'm going to be in Rosarito. I'm in Southern California right now, but I'll be heading back tomorrow afternoon and be down there enjoying the holiday with my family. So I hope that you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Take heart. We're on the last half stretch, and everybody's doing great. And I really appreciate participating with everybody. I love to get into discussions, and I'm really happy with how many of our discussions have developed and how the learning has been really rich. We'll talk about learning this week, by the way. That's part of the topics this week also, is what is learning. Learning is a concept. You've all done a concept of analysis, and learning in and of itself is a concept. So we'll talk about that, what that really means, the different ways that we learn. So everybody have a wonderful, a blessed Thanksgiving. I wish you all well. If you have any questions, please feel free to go ahead and let me know, and I will be seeing you in the discussion forums.